Joe Biden will claim responsibility for what you are about to see.
Honor explains how the department's plan to give out the first doses of the vaccine will now unfold.
The health department will follow the guidelines set forth to get this vaccine out first in a phased approach to frontline healthcare workers and seniors living in long-term care facilities. Now, the first 5 frontline workers here in Gwinnett County got that first dose of the Pfizer vaccine on Wednesday.
If I had enough vaccine to vaccinate everyone, I would do it today.
Dr. Audrey Arona, the director of Gwinnett, Newton, and Rockdale's health departments, was among one of the first people here in Gwinnett County to get Pfizer's COVID vaccine.
We were ready the day we heard it, so it's like, okay, when can we get it? When are we going to get it? So
the first doses of the vaccine arrived in Gwinnett County Wednesday morning. The health department has close to 2,000 doses. They're going to share those first doses with hospitals in the area.
We know that the hospitals are to receive their own allocation shipments, but we felt like our initial shipment, since we got it before everyone else, that we really need to just share some of those doses with the hospitals and the frontline healthcare workers.
The Gwinnett, Newton, and Rockdale Health Department has 2 freezers cold. Hospitals in Metro Atlanta expect the first shipments of the Pfizer vaccine throughout the week. Health officials want to again remind the general public the fight against COVID-19 isn't over, but a vaccine is a promising step in the right direction.
Especially around Christmas time and holidays. I mean, our numbers are skyrocketing, and, you know, we want this vaccine will help, and it will help. It's the safest way to get immunity to our communities.
More vaccinations will be happening here at the Gwinnett Board of Health throughout the day. The Board of Health is also expected to help with vaccinations at local hospitals. Reporting in Gwinnett County, Brooks Honor, Fox 5 News.
Tomorrow, we expect the FDA will vote on whether to give Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine candidate emergency use authorization. If it is approved, just under 6 million doses of that vaccine will be available in the initial rollout.
And with that quick shot in the arm, 88-year-old former school teacher Vera Leap became one of the first elders to receive the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine administered by the state's vaccination strike team.
Thank you very much.
A little overwhelmed by the cameras and attention, she said she's just hoping for the best to begin defeating the pandemic.
Now, Atlanta police released a statement in part that says our officers are faced with so many different challenges and are often asked why they didn't do more, while those truly responsible seem to be given a pass.
You have to ask yourself what would have happened if the Atlanta Police Department had stepped in to break up that fight, if they had used pepper spray, deployed one taser. What would have happened? I'll tell you. They'd have been charged with police brutality, excessive force, and been fired from their jobs. So they chose to mitigate the possibility of not having an income to support their families. That's right. Instead of having just one set of parents complaining, they'd had 20 or 30 sets, one in their head. Think about that.
Video circulated on social media after Atlanta police say 300 teens got into a brawl at Atlantic Station November 28th. The family of Javon Ridley says the 13-year-old was dropped off at the popular shopping spot after the disturbance. But they say Atlanta police sent Javon off property over to the 17th Bridge, where many of the teens had relocated. That's when his family and police say he was viciously attacked.
This is my only child. He could have been killed. Anything could have happened to him.
We all know what the Democrats in Congress didn't do last summer. That they should have done instead of taking a vacation. And it's not the Republicans that have been blocking anything. It's the Democrats refusing to take their pork off the stimulus package.
Every American, and will get small businesses the assistance they need right now. Let me be clear. I need Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff in the United States Senate to get this done. There are folks in Congress threatening to do everything in their power to block our efforts. We need you to get out there and vote for Jon Ossoff as well as Raphael Warnock. We need them in the Senate.
And Joe Biden will take credit for the vaccine, for people being vaccinated, and organizing the distribution of the vaccine. But it's already happening. People are being vaccinated right now as I talk to you. And Joe Biden will take credit for the vaccine, for people being vaccinated, and organizing the distribution of the vaccine. But it's already happening. People are being vaccinated right now as I talk to you.
Authorities have not released details on a possible motive.
Senate Ethics Committee, the SEC, and DOJ. Purdue was totally exonerated. Jon Ossoff, you just can't believe him. But Ossoff's stock trade attacks on David Perdue are totally false.
Georgia jobs. And while Ossoff played partisan games, his family cashed in, getting up to $1 million from the same program he criticized. Jon Ossoff can't be trusted.
There's a group working to help those he marched alongside in the 1960s. With assistance from various organizations like the NAACP, the Civil Rights Veterans Relief Fund will help with food, housing, medical, and utility bills.
Some of the sacrifices some of the people have made, we can never repay them. But at least we, for the time that they have left.
We had always felt that there was going to come a tipping point for the student athletes to finally come together and say enough is enough.
The U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear an
For just a few minutes yesterday, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine played along with Republican Senator Lamar Alexander. Call it the spirit of the holidays, but both parties could soon be singing the same tune.
We agreed we will not leave town until we've made law.
And that law, that relief package they're all talking about, could include government cash for most Americans. Leaders from both parties are nearing an agreement that extends extra unemployment benefits for 4 months and an extra $300 a week, as well as stimulus checks for most Americans in the neighborhood of perhaps $600. And there would be more relief for businesses, too, replenishing the Paycheck Protection Program with $257 billion.
It's not a done deal yet, but we are very close.
Also close, the Moderna vaccine. An FDA advisory panel meets today to decide whether to recommend it, perhaps joining the Pfizer vaccine already in use, with more to come.
Moderna was supposed to...
2017 saying did not disclose on his tax returns $400,000 in income from the Ukrainian natural gas company where he sat on the board, according to a copy of the email obtained by NBC News. So it looks like we have an idea where this investigation is headed, more on did he report his income. What is the concern level of the Biden team on this investigation?
Well, look, they're having to answer questions about this, Chuck, and so there's no doubt it's a distraction to some extent. You have Hunter Biden insisting he did nothing wrong, and the Biden transition team continues to point to comments made by President-elect Biden himself to stress the fact that he is very proud of his son, and also to stress this other thing that President-elect Biden has been talking about, Chuck, which is that his Justice Department is going to be independent from the White House, from him, that he is not going to interfere in ongoing investigations. And so I think you are going to hear the Biden transition team continue to hit that point. But of course,
CEFC, China Energy Company, offering best wishes from the entire Biden family and urging Yi to quickly send a $10 million wire to properly fund and operate Biden's joint venture with the now bankrupt CEFC.
Some allies of President Trump are saying it may be time for a special counsel to look into Hunter Biden's business dealings, concerned the Biden administration may not be interested in a serious criminal investigation.
I'm absolutely calling on a special counsel to look at all things Hunter Biden to see if he presents a conflict for the Biden administration regarding his business dealings in Ukraine.
The current regulations say the Attorney General, or in cases in which the Attorney General is recused, the acting Attorney General will appoint a special counsel when he or she determines that criminal investigation of a person or matter is warranted and when it's in, quote, the public interest. If President Trump decides he wants one, he presumably needs acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen to take action.
To me, it's kind of a last resort, but in this case, if we don't see action prior to President Trump leaving office, this special counsel might be warranted.
One of the top Senate Democrats today says it is not needed.
I hope that the selection of Attorney General by President Biden makes it clear that a person of honesty and integrity can take a first look at this and handle it properly.
A Democrat from Biden's home state of Delaware says enough already.
We need to turn the page and move on. There are hundreds of millions of people in this country that need to be vaccinated.
In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Close to the Kremlin. The breach is bad enough that National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien cut short a trip to Europe to lead a meeting of the National Security Council this morning.
We are taking a hard look on this and obviously take any sort of cyber hacks very seriously.
And the full scope of this highly sophisticated attack could take years to assess. The State Department, the Department of Homeland Security, and parts of the Pentagon have all been compromised. At the White House, Kristen Fisher, Fox News.
The Democrats have been blowing smoke up your ass for the past 4 years. And now you're going to get smoke blown up your ass for the next 4 years. Because you were stupid enough to elect a Democrat. And you want more Democrats in Congress? In the Senate? A Manchurian candidate at that. Being paid by the Chinese? Boy, that's pretty sad. And nobody's going to have anything done to them. Not Jon Ossoff, not Hunter Biden. They will get off scot-free. Because one's a Democrat and the other one's rich as hell, born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and is getting richer.
Doing Lizzo on the very first episode, and she brought it home last night with another beautiful performance. It was exactly who we thought it was. Check it out. And again, to everybody who tweeted with me, sent me guesses on Facebook, argued with me on Facebook, all that stuff.
I know this guy.
Thank you guys so much. And guess what? We'll do it again next season, because at least the pace at which they're cranking.
You have cancer of the rectum yet.